YouTube, what's happening? Been away for a minute, but I'm back with another beat making video on the MPC. So I've just installed MPC 3, the new software update. So if I'm a bit slow today, just bear with me, I'm still getting used to that. Today I'm going to be flipping something off of this record. This is one of the ones I got when I was back in Japan. Picked this one up in Disc Union in Tokyo. Most of the stuff on here I'm probably not going to touch, but there's one record that's definitely going to get flipped today. So let's load it onto the record player and we'll start making the beat. So I'm inside the MPC free software, which I'm new to this, so like excuse me if I'm a bit slow, but I'm still trying to figure stuff out with this as well. So got the sample chopped up, yeah. Program edit. I've pitched that down to 2 semitones and the BPM for that's coming in about 74. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that first part and I've chopped that up into my samples that I want to use. But that's just going to loop, so I'm going to record that in first. So that's going to just play over twice for 8 bars, and that's going to work as my hook section for the track. So that's the kind of main sample, the main loop, and it's just rolling. I haven't changed anything about it. And with this track, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to clone it and use the bass from the original track and just use that as my bass line. I don't do that often, but the bass line sounds really nice on this, so I just want to utilize that and have that in the track. Something I wanted to talk about really quickly, which can be like a tip that might help you all out. So if you're wanting to put sounds on top of your sample and the sounds are not sounding right, it's probably because your sample's out of tune. A lot of the time when you're recording vinyls, they can, warp a little bit and not sound perfectly pitched. So for instance, what I do, right, I've got my sample. That's the first note of my sample, right? So this is the first bar and the second bar, right? That's the same note, okay? But when it goes to the third bar, fourth bar, you can hear that as a different note. Well, I don't know if you can hear that, you'll have to have headphones on. So it goes do, 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 do. So it jumps up a bit. If you notice in my samples, I've pitched this down 40%, right? And the reason I've done that is because if we go to menu and I go to the tuner and I'm hitting this, you see this D sharp. And it's hitting kind of in the middle for the most part. It's hitting in the middle, yeah. And you'll see the same with the B, which is the note it jumps up to. Before I had micro tuned that with the 40, it was jumping over here a bit, so I've moved that down and everything's kind of hitting in tune now. So if I throw my own instruments over that, nothing's going to clash. It should sound right. So if this is D sharp, if this is D sharp, yep, and I play a D sharp string or piano over the top of that, it's going to sound good together. So I just wanted to let you know that's how I go about getting my samples in tune with everything. So just to show you what I've done with the sample, I put a stereo width on. There's quite a lot of instruments going on in the stereo field of this, so I just wanted to bring them in a little bit and just contain the beat a bit so it's not all over the place with instruments. Kelly EQ, just taking out the bass. Flavor Pro, just adding a bit of flavor onto the sample, and a little bit of delay just to tie it all together. And what I've done with the second version of the sample is I've put the stereo width down to 0 because that's the bass, so I don't want any stereo width on that. Kelly EQ, taking out all the highs. Low pass filter, just reinforcing that, and a little bit of distortion just to add a little bit of tone to the bass as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to record my drum beat over the sample chops I've got at the moment. So I've got this hi-hat loop that I liked, playing 16th notes, and it's got a little clap on it. You can't really hear that too much when I'm going to put my own sounds in, but I just like that. It's just simple. That's going to be the foundation of me, of my drum beat. And then I'm going to record my kicks and my snares in over that. So we'll go on to 16th, put the swing up to about 55, do it, and I'm going to record these in now. messed up on that last note there. I didn't want that one hitting straight after the snare, so I'll just move that over. Nudge. That's it. So that's sounding like the beat and the sample is sounding like this now. So yeah, nice little groove. What I'll do is I'll go in and I'll edit the kicks just so the velocities are not all hitting on the same. Alright, so I changed up my kick and that's sounding like this with the sample and the drums now. I thought I liked the first kick at first, but this one sounded better to me. It's just a bit more subdued and gels with the kick that's in the sample a bit nicer as well. Okay, I'm just going to throw a little string sound over the sample now. Like I said, if I didn't do that micro tuning, this string would not sound good with the sample, so keep that in mind. So I'm just going to throw this over to add a little something to the chorus section. To do now is work on my verse section. So for this section, I'm going to get a bit more creative with the chops. I've went to that other part of the record that I sampled, and yeah, I'm going to just kind of freak it out a bit more. So I'm going to get ready to record that in, and I'll try to do it all in one take. Put this onto 1/8 because I'll probably mess it up if it's on 1/16. But yeah, I'm going to just record this in now, and hopefully it all goes well. So let's do it. So yeah, got that recorded in, then we'll just take a listen at how that's coming and how that sounds on the switch from the chorus to the verse. Yeah, I like the way that's switched up. So we got the arranger mode now on MPC 3. I don't know how I feel about it yet, because I always throw my stuff into Ableton. Like, I love the MPC, but this arranger is never going to beat a DAW for all your automation needs and warping and everything. But if it helps me lay the track out a bit better before I put it into Ableton, then yeah, that's cool. So yeah, I'm liking the way this is sounding. It's kind of spacious. You definitely get some bars off on this. And then the hook section, yeah, let's hear how it rolls back in. Yeah, I like the way that sounds. So what I'll do is I'll put a bit more effects and stuff like that, some drum fills and everything, and then that will roll in together really nicely. So all I'll do now is go arrangement, got the bass line bit here, so I'll just copy in my bass part. So what I'll do is I'll just copy the notes that I just recorded in and put them into the channel that just has the bass. So that sounds like this now with the bass in. Yeah, sick. Yeah, this beat sounded fire, man. Master Ace and Brad Digger sampled this one, but I think they just used the main section. So I've went a bit more in depth with the flip and used a bit more of the track. So it doesn't really sound like the one that they've already rapped on. Nice. So I've added the string section in on the second half of the verse, but I've pitched it down an octave, so that's going to sound like this. And that's just going to roll into the chorus nicely. So the strings have come in, they've come in at the lower octave, and then when it comes around to the chorus, it's going to rise into that, which should sound good. Yeah, that's sounding nice. I like the way that's come together. So what I'll do is I'll just add a couple of effects to transition the track a bit nicer, and then I'll let you hear that through. So I'll be back once I've added all those effects in and little fills and stuff, and then I'll play the track through with some of the footage from Japan where I picked up the record. So yeah, I've added everything into this track that I want to add. And like I said earlier, what I'll do is I'll break this down and I'll put it into Ableton, I'll add automation and I'll add my cuts and everything. You know, MPC 3, like it looks cool. The arrangers seems pretty good. I'm getting used to it, but you're never going to beat a DAW when it comes to tracking out stuff and arranging it and just making it sound professional and nice. I've got this one put into the machine now, so I'm going to play it through with you guys, and I hope you enjoy it.